For 80% of people, there is one rangefinder I recommend as the best overall. This is the one you should get that's going to do the best job at the best price. But for the other 20% of people, you're looking for something a little different. You're looking for something more niche, and that is what this video is about. Today, I'm gonna tell you what those 5 niche rangefinders are, why you might consider them, why I would choose them over other models, and don't worry, in case you're still wondering what that one recommendation is for the other 80% of people, I'm gonna tell you about that as well. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right into it. All right, first things first, this is the Voice Caddy TL1. This is the recommendation I have for most people. For 280 bucks, you get excellent accuracy, an OLED screen, it's super fast, it's got great ergonomics. Like this is the one, if you're just looking for the best bang for your buck, best overall rangefinder, I would say just go get this one. But that's not what today's video is about. Okay, first recommendation is for people that need stabilization. And when I say stabilization, essentially that's functioning just like a camera that would have built-in stabilization or a camera lens that might have built-in stabilization. So if you're a little bit older, or if you have shaky hands, or if you have a tough time locking onto flags, this is going to make it so that when you range that distance, it kind of like automatically jumps and locks onto the flag and stays there. You don't see this in very many rangefinders because it is an expensive feature to add, and sometimes if it's not implemented well, it doesn't work great. But if you're looking for this feature, I recommend the Nikon Coolshot Pro 2 Stabilized. So Nikon just actually released the Pro 3 Stabilized, and it's like a $500 rangefinder. In my testing, I found that the Pro 2 Stabilized, which is the older model, this has been out for 4 or 5 years now, really for the most part worked just as well. And you can often find it for closer to $300 rather than $500. There's also a more expensive Leupold model that has this that I haven't had a great experience with. So if you're specifically looking for stabilization, I would go towards that older Nikon model, and being a Nikon rangefinder, you can bet the optics are very good as well. Second recommendation is for people that need triangulation. So essentially what a triangulation feature does is it allows you to, say, from the cart, shoot the ball, then shoot the flag, and then it will give you the distance between those two spots without having to walk out to the ball. So as you can see, super convenient if you're playing cart path golf. Again, this is another one that only a handful of rangefinders have this feature, and for most people, if that's the feature you're looking for, I recommend this. This is the Voice Caddy Laser Fit, and it's tiny, as you can see. You can pick it up for only $180. It's not the most robust, it's not the most well-built, the optics are fine, but it's one of the better rangefinders you can get for under $200, and the fact it has that triangulation feature is really nice. The reason I specifically recommend this is because of how easy the triangulation feature is to use and how well it works. The rangefinder that's kind of more well known for this feature is this. This is the Caddy Talk Cube. I don't love this device, and considering it's almost double the money as this, I think for most people, I would just go here. There is one more device I'm gonna mention later in this video which also has this feature, so if you are looking for a more professional, more robust, more full-featured rangefinder, keep watching, I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Next up is most compact. So if you're someone who wants the smallest rangefinder possible, if you want to actually maybe keep your rangefinder in your pocket, I'm not sure necessarily why you would want to do that, but if you want to be able to, then I recommend one of these. One is that Laser Fit that I just talked about. So if you want small and you like triangulation, stick with this one. If you want small and a little bit more robust, a little bit more well-built, slightly better optics, then I would go with this. This is the Bushnell A1 Slope. So you can pick it up for around $300, and this thing is tiny, but what you get with it is Bushnell quality, Bushnell reliability, that Bushnell name, which for years has been considered kind of the gold standard of golf rangefinders. For the most part, this is a no-frills device, but it works fast, it's accurate, and the optics for its size are actually really good. So if you're looking for just a solid rangefinder, but you want it to be nice and small and compact, then these are the two I would go with. Hey, real quick, not sure which rangefinder is right for you? Cool, I got you. Go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions around what you were looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation on the device that I think is the best fit for your needs. I'll drop a link to that below, and you can do that while you watch the rest of this video. Okay, next up is for people that would like their rangefinder to make club recommendations for them. So if you want to be able to look in your rangefinder, have it measure a distance, and then make a club recommendation based on your actual yardages, then I would recommend this. This is the FlightScope i4. So this is kind of a new thing that we've been seeing this year. There's a couple brands that are doing these type of recommendations. The other one is Bushnell Foresight. So the Bushnell Pro X3 Link is a device that's also capable of this. But the reason I like this particular one is that FlightScope has one of the best launch monitors for most people. FlightScope has just released the excellent Mevo Gen 2, which you can pick up for under $1,200. What you can do is there's a special mode where you're gonna go and you're gonna hit a few shots with each of your club. It is going to give you gapping information. So it is gonna tell tell you your average 7-iron, your average 8-iron, your average 9-iron, and so on. You then pair the rangefinder with the FlightScope app, and then for every single shot you hit within the round, it will give you a tailored club recommendation based on your own personal yardages. In that yardage recommendation, this will also factor in environmental considerations like wind, altitude, temperature, making it one of the most full-featured rangefinders on the market. But this one is pretty spendy at a retail price of $500, so it's not necessarily one that I would recommend to most people unless you already have a FlightScope launch monitor or those club recommendations are a really important feature to you. Okay, next up is a rangefinder that is the best one if you wear a Garmin watch on the course, and that is the Garmin Approach Z30. And why would I say that? Because this rangefinder is kind of magic. So what it's going to do, if you're wearing a compatible Garmin watch, you go out in the middle of the fairway, you shoot the flag. It will then give you two numbers. It'll give you the number from the flag to the back of the green, and then it will also give you a number from the flag to the front of the green. So you can easily get a sense of where the flag is in the green if you don't have a pin sheet. But it will take this a step further. Automatically, you can then go down and look at your watch, and it will show you exactly where on the green that flag is. Better yet, it'll remember that number for the rest of the holes. So if you shoot it and you're 132 yards from the pin, as you are then walking up the fairway, the number will adjust on your watch. So the watch will give you not only the GPS distances to the front and back of the green, but it will also continue to give you the correct distance to the pin based on what you shot earlier. This is the only rangefinder I know that does anything like this, and honestly, it works really well. Like often, even if I'm testing other rangefinders, I will keep this in my bag because I'm almost always wearing a Garmin watch, and the integration is so seamless that it's just really nice to have. So if you are a Garmin watch user, I would definitely consider this. If you're not a Garmin watch user, then I don't think there's enough here to justify the $400 price tag, and there's probably some other models I would go with. Hey, this feels like a good time to mention, if you click any of the links or you buy any of the products below, I may get a commission. I do not care whether you buy any of these products or not. Everything I do here at Breaking 80 is to try and help you find the right products for your needs. If you do decide one of these is the right fit for you, then clicking those links and using those coupon codes, that does allow me to do more videos like this. But if you think that makes me biased, go do your own research, go check elsewhere, totally understand. But if you did find this valuable, those links help me out a lot. All right, back to it. And finally, we have the best all-in-one device. If you are looking for a kitchen sink of a rangefinder, something that you can get laser yardages with, something you can get triangulation with, something that you can keep score on, something that you can get a GPS map overview. If you want a rangefinder that can essentially do everything, then I would look at this. This is the Milesea Gene Pro G1. And I honestly was highly skeptical of this rangefinder. I did not expect to like it. I did not think it would do everything it said it would do. But the reality is that it does. And it does all of those things really well. The problem is most people aren't going to want a golf rangefinder that does everything. But if you like the idea of instead of getting a watch or using an app on your phone, if you want to be able to easily keep score on here, if you want to get yardages on here, if you want to get GPS maps on here, you can do it all just with this one device. At $500, you're paying a pretty steep premium in order to do that. But I would say if you ignore all of the fancy tech stuff and you just are using this as a regular laser rangefinder, it is excellent. This is one of the better rangefinders I have tested over the course of the past year. And so even if you have rounds where you don't want to deal with all that stuff and you just want a solid, reliable, fast rangefinder, this can do the job. Also, this thing just came out, so you've been able to get some pretty killer sales on it. If you use the code BREAKING80, it drops the price all the way down to $360, which at that point, that is an incredible deal for this. So if you can get that price, I would definitely consider this a little bit more heavily, but I know that price is going to jump back up soon. I'm not entirely sure when. That coupon code still should get you a discount, I just don't know how much. So at $500, that feels a little steep. If you can get it closer to $400 or less, it definitely becomes more of a value. But if you're looking for the kitchen sink rangefinder, this is the one. So there you go. Most of you probably aren't going to need these rangefinders I mentioned today. But if you have that unique use case, you want stabilization, you want triangulation, you have a Garmin watch, you want something that can do it all, then one of these rangefinders could definitely be a good fit. All of the ones that I mentioned here are solid, are reliable. But again, if you're just the person that wants a normal rangefinder that's going to do normal rangefinder things really well and not complicate things and not get in the way, then the Voice Caddy TL1 continues to be my recommendation. I don't normally in my videos just flat out say this is the best for a lot of reasons, because everybody has different use cases. Point in case is this video. But when it comes to rangefinders, like, this really has been the best bang for the buck for the price, and this is honestly the one that I personally use most of the time. So take all that for what it's worth. With that, my name is Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. If you got some value out of this, maybe hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, drop a thumbs up, do all those things, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.